I suppose many people think of the hospice and they think about palliative care, but in fact, we provide a whole range of different services. We have 3 specialities: rheumatology, palliative care and gerontology, or as otherwise known as the care of older people. All 3 services are provided within Harold's Cross, and palliative care alone is provided within Blackrock Hospice.
Oh, the atmosphere is lovely. Just starting with the staff, because they're the first you meet. They're all very friendly. There's very little talk about your illness or prognosis or anything like that. You know, it's about day-to-day things, family things. It's good company.
The patients that we care for have a range of diseases, including fibromyalgia, osteoarthritis, rheumatic disease, juvenile arthritis, and indeed many of the children who would be cared for in Crumlin in the early stages of disease transfer over to our care when they're 16 or 17. So indeed the campus here caters for people from a young age right up until the late 90s, and indeed the odd resident who's made it well over 100.
I came in here about 14 years ago was the first time I came in here, and I got diagnosed with a condition called Behçet syndrome, and after that I availed of getting physio and getting started on medication and just getting on the road to recovery. Like, the physios are just brilliant. Like, the most important thing is to listen to you. To listen to you first, to find out how you are, what's really wrong with you, and then they'll take the steps to get you right.
It's the best ever, like every facility, from the nurses upstairs to the OT to the relaxation classes to, look how lovely it is here, just walking around the gardens, and to the physio. Like, you are tired at night. You don't feel you're working, but you know at night you've done a good day's work. Everybody, like even at home, can see an improvement in me. Personality, even the way I look, I reckon is completely different. It just changed my outlook.
I've come in here 2 Harold's Cross times where I couldn't move my hands without screaming. I couldn't I couldn't comb my hair, I couldn't wash myself, you know, and I've never gone out that I haven't made a bit of progress. They treat the whole person, not just the joints, and that very, very good about getting things that will help you. I say not only did they look after the body in Harold's Cross, but you get body, mind and spirit.
Our older people services encompass 2 major services here in Harold's Cross. One is our extended care unit. That's for older people who require long-term nursing care, and most of the people who come in there have high dependent needs, and they require intervention from both our medical and nursing staff and our therapists. They live here, it becomes their home and their residence, and we endeavour through our work in Anna Gaynor House to actually provide a home from home for people where they can pursue many activities of daily living and lead as independent lives as possible. These are things that have been recognised both in terms of our HICWA inspections and by families and residents themselves as making their lives much more meaningful.
Well, I'm contented, and I'm taking advantage of any classes that are put on. Like, I'm doing a bit of art and go to the crossword on a Monday afternoon, and we have baking on a Tuesday, we bingo on a Thursday, so all these things make up my time.
We offer different therapies. We do aromatherapy, we also offer reflexology and gentle touch therapy depending on the patient's needs. They're all individually tapered. All of the complementary therapies, the aim is really to offer symptom control, also to offer support and increase the quality of life for patients and residents, and ultimately the effect is experiencing an increased feeling of well-being as well.
Our second service in terms of older people is our community reablement unit, and this service we run jointly with St James's Hospital and the Health Services Executive, and it's a rehabilitation programme for older people living in the community. All of our patients in this unit go home, so we're very proud of what it does, and it has become something that is really important to the older people within our catchment area here in South Dublin.
Well, when I arrived the first time, I was actually wearing morphine patches for the pain. And I was having kind of a reaction to them, you know. And I was taken off the morphine patches, which I was afraid I was going to suffer more pain. But they managed the pain with different painkillers, no different type of stuff. And between the new drugs and the physiotherapy, I started to feel better. I really did start to feel better. And I started to help myself more or less as well. And then I came back a second time and I improved again. So I rang again to see could I come back, and I did. I did come back again. And each time I left here, I was much better informed, of course, as well.
At Our Lady's Hospice and Care Services, the thing that makes us really special, and I think that really hits people when they come in the door, is the warmth of the embrace that they feel. And that really is delivered by our amazing staff and our amazing volunteers. And people might be surprised when they come here to see so many volunteers working in so many parts of the hospice. But indeed, without them, we would be unable to do so much of the work that we carry out here.
There are so many people involved from the volunteers, covering so many activities, be it teas and coffees in the wards, helping out in the coffee shop, Eucharistic ministries, driving people to and from the hospice. It's so delightful to see them going home and saying, God Martin, it was wonderful, the treatment we got there. And every patient that comes in, be they long-term, short-term, will always say the warmth feeling that there is throughout the whole hospice.
This has turned my whole life around, but I know I can go home Friday and know that I've just had to dial a number and these are online, and that's what I like, because I know my life doesn't end just because I leave here, and I know I'm going to go, but I know I'm going to go happy.
With our support, people can stay in their houses, in their homes, wherever they want. We try to make that possible.
So it is the nursing care, the medical care, the input from the physiotherapists, the occupational therapists, the advice from the pharmacists, the psychosocial domain that's cared for by our social workers and our psychologists, and indeed our chaplains, that when we give that as a team approach, we can really make a difference to a patient's experience of living life with a terminal illness. We're here to make a difference. If by our input we can make somebody's day a little bit better, a little bit easier, a little bit more symptom control, then for us that's a good day's work.
And as I said, if there's a place next to heaven, this is it, we're sitting in it. It's absolutely fabulous, couldn't say enough about it.
The unique thing about having so many services on site is lots of people are discharged home again. And we are not just a place where people come for the end of life, but actually a place where people come to live, to be rehabilitated, and to actually find a way to get the greatest quality out of their life at whatever stage it's at. And so coming to the hospice is not about fear, but actually should be about a time where people can find a personal sense of space, a personal security for them and for their families, space for themselves, and space to reflect on their lives, but also a time where they can get support to actually move on and to maintain a quality of life